morning, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Kuminong. You're welcome. You're on the Kuminong Traveling and Lifestyle channel. Oh my God, it's been forever that I've not been here, and it will soon make sense why I had to take such a break. Actually, I decided just to go off, and I've had questions, people asking me, where are you? What happened to you? You were sharing content about Japan, and yeah, so yeah, for those of you who are new here who don't know, I've started this YouTube channel, after we moved to Japan with my family, and we went there to just seize the study opportunity, and also just get to immerse ourselves in the culture and learn a new language, learn to live with the different kind of people, expand our worldview a bit more. And we decided to do that with our kids, and we ended up working as well, doing some odd jobs here and there, in some formal jobs where it was possible. So we decided that at the time I decided it was very critical for me to share about this journey, so that if there's anyone out there in the world who's thinking, what can I do with my life, where can I move to, if they end up deciding on Japan, then they can, get that information. So that was the main aim of the channel, just to share that it's not scary out there in the world, really. The way people put it is not scary. It is livable. You can live your life, and you can do so much. So at the beginning of this vlog, actually, we were in a load shedding. Now electricity just came back. So what I'm planning to do today is just to give you guys a live update of where was I, because that's a big question, right? Yeah. So while I was waiting for electricity to come back, I decided to take a shower, and also just to wash the hair, and I need to dry my hair. So I am trying to get ready for the day, take the car to the car wash. And yeah, so because I just got out of the shower, and I still need to finish up what I was doing. So let me just quickly show you guys, because I was bathing now. So for my face, I'm using these two oils. One day I'm going to explain why I'm using that, and this sunscreen every day. And then because it's morning, it's during the day, then I'm going to apply this for my face on top of using these oils and the sunscreen. At night, then for my night routine, then I just swap the day cream for the night cream. And yeah, this is my perfume is running out. So what I will be doing also for my body, because it's still very dry season, I'm using this. Although it's written men, it's just tissue oil. It's helping restore the skin, because we are still getting out of winter, and this has been my fighter, because my skin can get very cracked up and very hard to deal with. And then also just mixing the two oils with this, or applying the oils and then put the lotion on top. And then of course, this is my deodorant that I go to. There's a couple of types of them here in the cupboard. Yeah, I don't know if you'll see. Yeah, but so let me finish up doing this. I'm gonna be brushing my teeth. I'm using Sensodyne, the Rapid Relief. Somehow my teeth just got very sensitive. So let's see if you can see this. Yeah, so Rapid Relief, very good, this one. So I'm just gonna brush my teeth, apply lotions to my body and my face, and then when I'm done, I'm gonna go make coffee, and then we're gonna have a sit down and do a chit chat quickly about my life update, where was I. So yeah. Okay, I was just letting in the light, opening the curtains in the blinds. So let's go get check out the car wash situation. Oh, I had this light on because there was load shedding. Let me just switch it off. Yeah, as soon as we find the car key, some money, and then we'll come back and make some coffee. Okay, it looks like our car wash is not open today. This is where the cars get washed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and get it washed tomorrow morning. So normally just come and park over here, and then the car washing people will then wash your car. So I'm just gonna turn back, go back home, because I don't really feel comfortable using these car washes out there where you leave your car, because in South Africa has not been that safe. Just show you guys the greenery here. So I'm just trying to really learn how to rely on a camera. It's early in the morning, so I'm reversing into the parking, and I'm trying to learn how to rely on this camera because it seems to be very accurate when I look at it. But yeah, let me just stop this video here so that I can park safely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and make coffee. Is I take the coffee pot, hopefully the handle doesn't fall off. It's very strong coffee, this one, and I pour it in here. Creating content is such a job. It's a job. That's why people need to get paid for it. But anywho, so let me first check if I'm in position, because it might be that I'm talking and the next thing you find that I'm out of focus and I'm out of position and I'm not even audible. So let me try this. So yeah, welcome guys. Let me just do this quick chit chat with you. I kept on saying I'm gonna do a chit chat with you. I'm sure you're tired by now. So yeah, for those of you who are new here, my name is Kuminong. You're on the Kuminong Traveling and Lifestyle channel, and I'm just I've just been away from the channel for a long time, a very very long time. The last time I posted was last year, way before this time of the year. So what happened is that life really took a turn for some rough patches. As you know that in life we have seasons. I guess it was a season that was very difficult to deal with. At the same time, try to continue YouTubing. And as I said, that my aim for this YouTube channel was just to share knowledge and just to show you guys the life in Japan, and how you can make it, even as an African or as another nationality that decide to move to another country, that it's not that hard, it's not that difficult. So what happened is that I experienced a loss. I experienced the loss of my best friend, and also I was going through some difficult period in my life, in my personal life, whereby it's got everything to do with family, but not my family, my own family, but yeah, the family I was born into, my own parents, and I had to deal with those things, and they were just emotionally texting and taking quite a lot of energy away from me and taking away the excitement that I thought I would have. But the major thing that happened is that I went through loss of my best friend. and that was very hard to deal with. Even now, I'm so grateful that I can sit down here and talk about that period without breaking down, because a year ago around this time I wouldn't do that. It was so hard to deal with that, and it quite happened at a time whereby I was also writing my thesis. So as you know, that I went to Japan to also conduct research. So I did conduct my research, collected the evidence, and while I was in the middle of there trying to analyze my data and try to write up something, then it happened that my best friend passed on. My very best friend passed on. I've known her at the time, it was 18 or 19 years of knowing her and just doing life with her. So it was quite a difficult time for me, that particular period. But also as a family, we were transitioning, and we needed to finish up and wrap up what we went to Japan for and come back. So I felt that also I decided to start the channel later on. Remember, we went to Japan some time back, and then I decided to start the channel later on when I saw how life was going, how life was. And yeah, so I just decided, let me just get off social media and let me just also pause the YouTube channel thing. You know, guys, I went through so much difficulty that I couldn't even do a goodbye for now video, because really it was so hard to deal with that. But then I eventually came back to South Africa. I graduated for my master's degree that I was doing. I graduated. It was such a difficult time as well, because I had to do that. I had to extend my stay in Japan firstly, and then I graduated eventually, because that period, the way it was so hard, guys, to deal with that period of losing my friend. I actually took 6 months off from finishing off the course, but also it was gonna give me time, because I was delayed. My data collection was delayed, so I just combined the two periods of, deal with the data collection situation and also just deal with the mourning the loss of my best friend. And then took 6 months off from school, and that meant that I had to add 6 more months to stay in Japan. And the data collection was delayed because we were still in the middle of COVID in Japan. Of course, they are very cautious. They wouldn't just open up like all other countries were opening up. They still held on to this time of whatever period it's a no traveling time, and that affected my schedule and when I could go back to the Inaka, to the village where I was doing research. So yeah, but I appreciated the time and the period, because it gave me time to also just deal with that. I don't think if I did not take a break, I would have came out fine in terms of studies. I would have just made it just for the sake of making it, but that would have not been one of the best jobs I could have put forward. So that's what happened. And then I graduated and came back to South Africa, rejoined my family. My husband and my children have already returned to South Africa. The children have already resumed school in South Africa, and that was a 6 months period of me remaining behind. And that was a good period for me also, just to focus on me and just listen to my body, listen to myself, listen to my feelings, and just nature myself in that way. So it was quite a difficult period to go through. And then upon returning to South Africa, guys, life kept happening. Oh, just when I was thinking, I'm done with the Japan chapter and the last period of Japan that I had to deal with loss while I'm abroad, I couldn't even come back and be at the funeral of my best friend. And now I'm here back in South Africa, and life keeps happening. I remember one of the times when I was at home in Limpopo. In Limpopo province, we have 9 provinces in South Africa. Of course, if you're South African, you know that. So I am from Limpopo. I rejoined my family, and I just had a very interesting accident. I'm sure you guys have noticed my patches on the skin as I was doing my skin routine as well. It's not as clear as it used to be. I got an incident. I got burned just upon returning from Japan, and that happened at a very, very critical period where I was like sending my applications in. I've decided I would go back into to working, because it would have, it has been 3 years that I've been away in Japan doing what I needed to do, working in Japan, doing research. So now I came back to South Africa. I'm like, okay, now we're done, let me get back to work. And I get this incident, and then I burn, and it was not a nice thing, because it took me like 2 months of being in pain, in serious pain, dealing with that. So I got burnt on the face, on my arm, and also I had to deal with that. And like I said, it happened at a critical time whereby I was doing interviews. I was seeing quite a lot of people going through interviews, and I didn't know how to deal with that as well. So I just ended up slacking. Like I got some job offers. Of course, people would give me jobs, but the salaries were just quite low. I appreciated that kind of confidence in okay, we'll give you the job, but then it was not at the level that I believed it should be. However, I was not that much picky, because I ended up just joining another 1 or 2 companies before I would decide on the job that I eventually take. But in the middle of that, I got a couple of offers, good offers. But then I was thinking, let me keep looking, because I know I'm not starting. The thing is, with me, I was not starting from zero. I was starting from experience. I was starting from a number of years of experience, a lot of skills, a lot of work that I've put in before I left the country. So I was already at a very high level before I left the country. And I just took a leap of faith, because with me, I would always choose my family, and I would always choose to be where they are, and I would always choose me. So I had decided to leave that job so that I can pursue what I wanted to pursue at the time. So I was not starting. I always knew that when I come back in the country, I'm not starting from zero. I'm starting from experience. So that was the difference with me. So with that freakish accident of me burning, and I was not able to accept and resume the other jobs that I got the offers for. And I want to say today that for those companies that have given me job offers, I truly appreciate that, because it kept me going, just receiving that job offer. But also there was a period where it was extremely dry. I was very discouraged. I was thinking I must have committed career suicide about choosing to leave my career when it was just peaking. Not just peaking, it was at a peak, and I decided to we'll see you when we come back from abroad. So that's what happened. And so I was thinking about reflecting on that, and thinking maybe I've made a mistake. Maybe I should have stayed and let my husband just go pursue his great opportunity without me. And the children wanted to go with and experience life abroad. Maybe I should have just let them go. But one thing that kept me going, the other thing that kept me going, those of you who know me would know that I am a believer. I am a born-again Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit. So one thing that grounded me was my belief. So I kept believing that, no, man, God has something great for me, and it will eventually materialize. It will come to be. So that's what I kept believing through those hard times when the season was also dry. The job hunting was dry, but also I was caught up between going back into corporate or just starting my own thing, because like I said, I have a lot of experience, and I've already started like registering a company. I have some companies that I've registered before. I was just resurrecting those and making sure that I develop some material for in case I want to really go out on my own, because that was a great possibility. But then I looked at the season and the time, and it just felt that maybe it's not the time, because a whole lot of companies that I know, and my colleagues that I've previously worked with started companies and they quickly collapsed, and they couldn't get back up because the job market itself, even for the companies, for the small companies, for the consultants, it was quite dry. And for the big consulting companies, it's fine. They have a big muscle, financial muscle to keep going. So, and I also inquired of God and I was praying about it. It just didn't feel right for me to venture into that. So, yeah, after the accident, then I just did some jobs here and there, freelancing, holding on to faith that, you know, the job that is meant for me will come. And there was a job that came that was very, very good in Durban, and I took it. Even though it was a 12 months contract, I was told the company is going through some things. It's actually a Tonga Tielet. I went there and worked for a month, and while I was working for that month, the good thing is I was waiting for some feedback from about 3 or 4 companies that I interviewed with, including government, provincial government, where I eventually ended up taking the job. So while I was in Durban, they called me and said, we would like to give you a job offer, and it was like 3 offers came at the same time. Not at the same time, but yeah, following each other. But then I chose to work for the provincial government because this job, I felt it aligns with me. So what happened also during that period, the very same day I accepted, or the following day, I accepted the job offer for government, my other best friend passed on. So this one is quite difficult to deal with because it's something that happened recently while I was trying to get over the passing of my other friend, and this other best friend of mine passed on. So those of you who know me, I'm just trying to be strong and talk about this because it's quite painful for me to deal with. So those of you who know me, you'll know that I have 3 best friends that I lived with, that I met with at varsity 22 years ago, 21 years ago. Yeah, so we did life together from back then until that friend of mine who I met first before the other 2, Fatima, passed on. And then while I was trying to figure out my life now in South Africa, my other best friend also passed on. It was so sudden. It was so sudden and so painful to deal with because, like I said, a day before I got a call, literally a day before I got a call, I was so jubilant. I was excited. The excitement, you know, like, you know, talking to people at Tonga Tulet, the managers and the colleagues that I worked with, they were so kind and so nice. That job environment was one of the best working environment I ever walked into. So it was such a great thing for me to even share with them because we were all worried about the future of those who are joining the company and those who were there in the company because the company was going through some liquidation. I don't know how the process ended up going because I then told them that I got some job that I want to pursue, that I want to take, and yeah, they released me. So the following day, while we were planning, because it was month end, it was 4 days before month end, and the manager, I explained that I wanted to start with my new job immediately. So because I worked with them for less than a month, there was no need for me to serve a notice, even though it was a requirement. They allowed me to exit because I was given, I alerted them to the option of, you can take the very second best person that also you were interviewing with me, because I was made to understand that, yeah, it was a two between myself and another lady that that they were considering giving the job. So I was like to my manager, maybe you can just contact the other lady and give her the job because I really want to leave now. So the following day, when I was prepared, me and my husband woke up, we were preparing for the whole thing of leaving now, because we are leaving Durban, we are going back to Gauteng so that we can sort out our things, and I would end up coming back to start the job this side. So my best friend passed on, my other best friend passed on, And when I received the messages, the calls, it was so random because I was in a meeting. I was in still working for that company, of course, wrapping up things. I was in a meeting and I see my phone is ringing nonstop, and I try to look, and it's one of the other friend that I know that I have, and my other best friend who's left now, because I said there were three. I see she's inboxing me on Facebook, because she's like, I'm trying to get hold of you. Where are you? Where are you? So now I then try to call her, but she doesn't answer. The other friend that I have, then I answered her calls. I just paused the team session, and then I answered her calls, and she told me that my other friend passed on. I felt like that's not true. Like, I felt like I'm in a dream. First of all, I'm still I was in a haze. I did not understand, but then it was so painful and so real. And yeah, so just when I was thinking, I'm now getting my life back, and I'm strong enough to go back to doing life, and being excited about life, and just go back to even maybe YouTubing, and all these tragedies keep happening one after another, and the biggest of them all being losing my best friends. So yeah, that's where I was, guys. I was not gonna cope with doing YouTube and being in that kind of space. So I think my coffee is good for drinking. So I wasn't gonna cope at all. So I needed to make a decision to say, you know what, another break, because dealing with the loss, even now I'm talking to you guys, it's so hard to talk about these things. Maybe one day when it's when I can, then I will talk about the loss of best friends, my two best friends. The other people did not even understand, because I was trying to share on my socials, like not on my socials. I don't really share that kind of thing on my friends passing on socials, just on WhatsApp. I think I posted some statuses saying this can be real. So yeah, that's that happened. But yeah, the Lord being so good. By God's grace, we buried my friend the Saturday, and then on Sunday I drove with my husband all the way to the new province in Eastern Cape to start a new job. I was very, it was so tough. The very first few weeks, it was so tough to start a new job, yet you're going through loss. And I couldn't even share that with my colleagues, my new colleagues. I couldn't tell them that this is what I'm going through. I just had to go through it with my family and with my other friend over the phone now, because I moved. So yeah, that's that happened. The Lord being good, I managed by God's grace to start a new job. It's a good job. I love it. I love the role that I currently have, and I love the people that I work with. It's not really such a smooth sailing, because the position has its own challenges, but they are good challenges. It's challenges that I'm up for, and it's quite a very nice role in terms of it being an executive role. Yeah, so that's where I am right now, doing that job. And yeah, so why did I decide to come back to YouTube? So when I was going through the period of, the break that I said I took, I kept seeing people who were watching my videos. Maybe they stumbled upon them. I think there are two videos that are getting some views. I think those are very informative, because I shared about the opportunities of how can you move to Japan in terms of the study opportunities. Oh my God, the washing machine is just competing with me. I hope I'm still audible. Let's wait for the machine to get done. Okay, so it looks like the machine is slowing down, but it was, I think, but again, ihamula the things that is washing. Yeah, so it's like, what do you call it, spinning. The machine was spinning. That's the noise. So yeah, when I was going through the quiet period in the morning and going through the guys, I went through it like emotionally, physically. As you can see, the scars, I came out alive by God's grace. So when I was going through that period, people stumbled upon the videos. As I was saying, there are two videos that I was sharing opportunities and just the scholarship opportunities, and also if you want to teach English, the JET programs. So those are getting views because people, like, people need jobs, they need hope. Some people need to study further, they need funding. So those two videos, I think they are getting views. I think they are sitting at around 1.6k and 1.4k when the last time I checked, and people kept I wanted to say people keep inboxing me because they keep, even now they still do. They would find me on either Instagram, which is also dry and quiet, or Facebook, and inbox me and life stories of, I'm in Kenya, I stumbled upon your video, can you please share some more? We want to know how it ended up going. And some people from Zim, like from other African countries, some people from South Africa, and a lot of my South African brothers and sisters who stumble upon these videos, they're like, please share more, we want to know how we can also get to make it. And so I've been thinking and contemplating about, why start something that then you're just going to abandon and not finish? But then I also thought, but that is now in the past tense because it's things that happened when we lived in Japan. But the good thing is I documented everything, because my intention, as I said, was to share like, how does life go, how does housing go, how does this and this go. And these people really want to know. They still want to know. They don't care whether it happened last year and now I'm talking this year, because the inboxes are quite many. So I decided maybe I should go back to sharing that kind of content with the people that I can help, because then even if I end up helping, as I said, one person to achieve their goals, who came upon my videos and said, okay, I can go and make it because this family or this person, they say they made it, and maybe I can allay their fears, or I can reassure them that it will work out. And also, and I thought, in the new season of my life where I am, it's quite interesting that a whole lot of YouTubers that you come across, they're kind of like, there's not a lot of YouTubers who are in corporate, who are working. A whole lot of working people don't get to share about how do they get to attain work-life balance. So, and I thought, although my intention was to just do this coffee is so nice, proper coffee. So although my intention was just to share about the Japan life and then do traveling in Japan, life in Japan, then I thought, but you know what, let me just also incorporate where I am right now in my life. Perhaps when you look at me trying to juggle I am a wife, of course, married, being wife, being a mom, being just doing my life, and also trying to do that work-life balance, because right now I am working. I'm holding a position that is very demanding, that is very busy, maybe because it also includes a lot of traveling, which is something that I wanted to share about this my content when I started this channel. And because I'm in a new province, like literally guys, I travel so much already. Being in this province, I travel so much. There's a lot of driving, there's a lot of going up and down. And yeah, just to share how did I transition from the Japan life up until I got here, so that I can encourage and motivate you guys to also go out there and do it, because you can do it. You can really do it, and you can achieve your goals. You can achieve anything you want to achieve as long as you put your mind to it, and as long as God is on your side, and as long as God still rules, as long as God still reigns, you will make it. So I just thought, let me quickly make up my mind. But of course, with YouTube, as you know, guys, there are many challenges. You'll sit there and say, oh, I'm gonna record a video, I'm gonna go back to YouTubing, but then you have many doubts. There are so many doubts. You're thinking, what am I gonna share about? Will people be interested in this kind of content? But yeah, I just wanna keep sharing about, as a person who come from Limpopo, now it's like I'm in another country because I'm living in another province. Oh, fun fact about me, guys, which you guys don't know, is I've worked in, literally now, in 7 out of 9 provinces of South Africa. So yeah, so that's very good. I was worried that I would never get to work in KZN, but yeah, as I said, that I did go to KZN for 1 month and worked for Tonga Gillette, at the province. And yeah, so I am now working in Eastern Cape, and predominantly the people who live in Eastern Cape who are black like me, they are of a Xhosa nation, and yeah, the white people predominantly, they are not Afrikaners, they are English. So this is quite new to me. I've lived with the Xhosa people in Cape Town, because I lived with my husband and my family for about 6 years in Cape Town. That's where our second born child and our last born daughter, they were born in Cape Town. Both of them, we lived in Cape Town for about 6 years. So they were born there. And that's where I met my Xhosa friends. And I got to learn the culture, not the culture, just get to learn the language. That's where I got to speak the language more often, because my friend couldn't understand my language. And then it helped me build a whole lot of vocabulary in the language, and then I ended up speaking it properly. But now with me getting an opportunity in Eastern Cape, I need to speak the language. But then it happens at a time whereby I went out of the country for about 3 years. And I'm trying to take my voice up, guys, because the machine is competing with me. So I went out of the country for about 3 years. So I'm not really always confident in speaking the language, because I feel like it has a lot of, now that I'm amongst the people who are predominantly Xhosa, they speak differently from the ones that I encountered in Johannesburg. And I told my friends who are living in Johannesburg that you guys are, I think you're Xhosa light, because the people who live here in the Eastern Cape and the ones that I've met in Western Cape and the ones in Gauteng, they are a totally different culture altogether. Like the way they speak, the way they conduct themselves. I think the ones that I met in Western Cape and in Gauteng, I think they diluted themselves. They've adapted to the culture around them, especially the ones in Gauteng. And our best friends, our best family friends, we have best friends who are Xhosa. Husband and wife both are Xhosa, and yeah, of course their children are Xhosa, but I've never heard them speak the language. They're young. So if you see this, my friend, yeah, so I told you, you and your husband, you're diluted. And my other friend, who also married to a Mosotho guy, they are quite very interesting. They are really different from this kind of nation. So I thought, while I'm experiencing this culture, I can share about me living here, and also just about my life, because it's very interesting, guys. I live in 3 provinces at most. It's quite complicated and very complex, but yeah, we'll unpack it as we go along. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. I'm sure it's long. I'm sure it's gonna be long because I've started, but yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. And you're welcome. I will try and do the content where I even try to compare, but firstly I want to fulfill my promise. Bear with me while I fulfill my promise to the people that I promised to share about the life in Japan, because what I've decided to do is I'm going to compile all those videos, load them on this channel. If they end up being interested in watching them, they will watch them. Whoever, the good thing about YouTube and putting the videos out there is it's a digital footprint. So if somebody in future in life, they want to know, even for somebody who is interested knowing about me as a person in my life, my journey, they can somehow stumble upon that and say, Oh, that's where you've been. That's how you've lived. So, and also just get to know that I'm just an ordinary person with an extraordinary God doing life. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching today's channel and getting to know where I was, as painful as it is. Yeah, so I am there. Thank you. Bye.